Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Robin, or A Hobbit's Reading List, and we are officially in 2024. My reading goal is 108 books for the year, and I'm eager to get started because I don't know how plausible that actually is. So let's get into it. So I realized that I forgot to film yesterday. I actually did a lot of reading. So it's Tuesday night now. I started reading Gates of Shabbat, which I explained in my TBR video. It's literally just a guide to the different ways that you can observe Shabbat. Even if you're not able to be completely Shomer Shabbos, there's just different rituals that you can bring in and just different ways to make it different from every other day of the week. So I read about like 30 pages of it. I was really tired because it was the 1st of January yesterday, and I had stayed up to like 2 a.m. on New Year's Eve, and so I was just very tired. So I had to stop like after 30 pages because it was sort of putting me to sleep. And that's just because it's nonfiction that happens when I read nonfiction. It's fine. It's not a reflection of the book. But we ended up going over to our friend's house. We went back to our friend's house to watch college football. I'm not really a football person, and if I am watching football, I'd rather it be NFL than college, just because I don't have any particular college football team that I'm drawn to. Come Friday in this vlog, college gymnastics starts, and that's a very different story. But we went over there, and while the boys were watching football, I just read. I started reading Higher by Roz Alexander, which is also on my TBR. It's a butch for butch sapphic romance. And I read, I think I'm at like 70%. And I'm actually really enjoying it. I enjoyed the other books by Roz Alexander that I've read. They have this series, it's called Hot for the Holidays, that is centered around sapphic romances and Jewish holidays. And so I've read the Purim one and the Passover one. So now I'm reading a Rosh Hashanah story. And the other ones I've felt were just not wholly realistic. Like, especially the Purim one, it was a second chance romance, and I felt like it was just resolved too quickly. It was over the space of a night, and I just didn't feel like that made sense for the information we were told about that pairing. This pairing, the story technically starts in the spring, and it goes up to Rosh Hashanah. And I think it makes a lot of sense, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very sexy. The characters are really cool. They have decent communication, which I appreciate in a romance story, even though I know it's like, I like miscommunication as a trope, but I want it to be like well done. Sometimes miscommunication is just like, well, that's just stupid. Like, you're just not talking. These people are talking, just maybe not totally perfectly. So I'm really enjoying it. I did not read anything today, and now the air has started, so I'm going to wrap this up. I've not read anything today. Hopefully I can read tomorrow in the morning. I think I will also be starting A Psalm for the Wild Built on audiobook tomorrow. I just wasn't in the mood to do it tonight. So yeah, so that's what's going on, and I will let you know what I end up reading tomorrow. So it is, well, today it's the 4th, but yesterday, the 3rd, I finished a book. It's the first book finished of 2024. It was a pretty decent read. I finished Higher by Roz Alexander. I've already talked about it. I had to remember for a second. And I liked it. I would probably say, I'm trying to remember the Passover one. I would probably say of the 3 Roz Alexander books that I have read, going from my memory, this one was my favorite. Although I think the Passover one is a close second. The Purim one, not so much. But I really liked how the relationship developed. It felt real. Like as real as like a romance book can. I thought it was really well done. I like Roz Alexander's writing. They do a great job building the relationship in particular. I think that in the Perm book especially, they didn't do the best job building the plot, and that's why it's definitely not my favorite. But in the two most recent ones that I've read, the Passover one and this Rosh Hashanah one, it was a great job. It was really enjoyable. The sex scenes were hot. I love that it was Butch for Butch because I have hardly ever seen that in a book. Like usually it's, you know, butch femme or just lesbians with like no, you know, stronger identification on either side of the spectrum. So it was really cool seeing Butch for Butch because I think that's just not represented really well, so I appreciate it. And honestly, other than that, I haven't really read much. I am going to start A Song for the Wild Built tomorrow on Friday. I just haven't been in the. I'm kind of hesitant about it, and I don't know why. I I don't know, but I am going to start it tomorrow because I would like to have it. I would like to at least finish an audiobook a week, and I know that if I start it tomorrow, I can still finish it Sunday. So I'm gonna do that, and then today I'm pretty much just gonna focus on reading Gates of Shabbat because I haven't read that since Monday. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Like I'm just glad that I finished the book already because I know there have been times in like months previous where I like it took like 10 days or something to finish a book and that just really slows down. And right now I'm just feeling like really motivated and everything because it's like a new year, new me, blah 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 blah. I don't really like believe that stuff, but I do tend to get a surge of motivation after the holidays. And I think it's just because like for me coming home from Christmas is that's a new start. And so like the day after I got back from my dad's, I, you know, started this new sort of like routine that involved, you know, like working on something as like towards learning as well as like mindfulness as well as like working out. So I started that like the 29th. I didn't wait till the 1st. So yeah, so that I don't know why I went off in that tangent. But okay, I'm gonna go. I have a big to-do list because if one thing hasn't changed, it's that I'm constantly slacking off on the things that I assign myself. So I'll talk to you guys later. Hello. I was gonna film last night, but I ended up watching, as you can see from the clips, gymnastics. There were two meets on. Well, there's how to describe this. There was two 14 meets that were on last night, and I wanted to watch, so I didn't watch the two dual meets. Not that anyone really cares, because I'd be very surprised if any of my subscribers watch college gymnastics. But that's what I was doing last night, so that's why I didn't film. So I'm filming Saturday morning. I just worked out, so if I'm breathing heavy or you can tell that I'm sweating, that's why. I read quite a bit yesterday. I started A Psalm for the Wild Built. I'm about halfway through because it's only like 4-ish hours. And I will say the narrator's fine. They're fine. I am liking the story, though. So the story is about this monk named Sibling Dex, who was tending the garden at, I guess, the monastery in the major city on this planet. It's a science fiction story. And they're not happy with that job. They start wanting to go out into the wild. And so they switch to being a tea monk, which honestly sounds really cool, where they have a little caravan thing. They go to the different villages in the wild and bring tea, and also just like listen to the villagers struggle and give comfort. And so they do that for like 2 years, and then they get that feeling that there's more. So they go into more wilderness, and they end up meeting a robot, because part of the premise is that the robots were created, and then like 200 years ago they left with humans' blessings to pretty much do their own thing. They have consciousness, and that they just want to be for themselves and not for the jobs that they were created for. But this robot, Moscap, wants to sort of check in on the humans and make sure that they're doing okay, because the robots still care. And so Dex ends up meeting Moscap, and they end up traveling together to figure out like, what do humans need. So that's the premise of the story. I'm about halfway through it. There's also a sequel, which I will probably end up buying, considering how much I'm liking this. So yeah, so that's A Song for the Wild Bill. And when I mentioned the narrator is fine, it's just like I can tell the different like recording sessions they had, because it'll just sound different. Their voice is like slightly different, and like I don't know, it just, so that's a little distracting, but it's fine. I also had a lot of free time at work yesterday, so I read about 50 pages of Gates of Shabbat, which went into the, different ways that you can make Shabbat special if you're doing it entirely at home, or if you're doing part of it at home, part of it at synagogue. And so I just finished up Havdalah and how to, make that a symbolic, transition into the week. And then I think the rest of the book is like readings to look into, to like read on Shabbat, as well as like songs and just like maybe more background information. So I will read that, but I'm about halfway through that as well, and so I'll probably read some of that today. So I'm going to try to film more clips, because I feel like I don't have a lot of B-roll. And then I'll check in with you probably tomorrow, but maybe tonight, depending on how much I read. So that's what's sort of going on. I had a late start today, so I really need to start doing stuff. So I'll talk to you guys later. It's Monday. I'm back to ending vlogs on Mondays. It's just because I was thinking about it last night. While I know that I can film in front of Chris and it's no issue, like Sunday nights, A, by the time I get home, I'm very tired. B, last night was the anniversary of my best friend's death, so I was kind of just like not in the mood to do anything. Chris and I just ended up watching YouTube for like 6 hours. and so it's one of those things where like Chris doesn't work Sundays, and so we just end up sort of just hanging out, and I don't really want to like be like, oh, hold on, I have to go film work. Like I can, it'd be no issue. It's just I don't want to do that. I'm just giving you a list of excuses right now to give you a heads up that, like, I might, end vlogs Monday mornings. It's fine. It's the same thing as it would have been last night, just probably in a better mood. So I finished A Song for the Wild Built. So that is my second book for the year. I won't, update you on how many books I'm at, once I start hitting probably like after this. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very, I don't know how to say what I'm thinking. In a way, it was very philosophical, but in a way that wasn't super depressing. So that was nice. Usually when I read books that have like a philosophical edge or more existential or make you think about how the world is, like, I tend to get very depressed because it's upsetting. This one wasn't. I would say it's actually more hopeful. So, because I think it portrayed humans as, like, within this story, doing the right thing, even though it didn't benefit them. And that was different. Because while I like to think that humans will do the right thing, even though it doesn't benefit them, large groups of people, that's usually not how it shakes out. So it was nice to read about that, where it was very like, oh, yay. I like, the character growth with Dex that happened. I love Moscap. It is so, I relate to Moscap, which I didn't think I would ever say about a robot, but there you go. I really recommend it. It's less than 150 pages. It's 4 hours on audiobook. Like, I recommend it. I gave it a 4.5 star. I added the sequel to my wish list, so at some point I'll get it and read it. And I know it's just the second half of their journey. Like, Dex had decided that they were going to visit this hermitage that has been abandoned because it's in the wild. Moscap agrees to go with them to make sure that Dex is safe, because Dex has never really been in the wild. And so Moscap puts on pause his journey to figure out, like, what do humans need? Are humans happy without the robots? And that's what his journey is about. So he puts it on pause to go with Dex. So the sequel will be them actually going into the villages and getting answers to that question. So that'll be really interesting to see how other characters respond to Moscap, because robots haven't been around for like 200 years. So that'd be cool. Other than that, I really didn't read yesterday. Like I said, it was kind of a hard day. I mainly just like distracted myself. So like my mood was okay, but it was just because I was watching funny YouTube videos. Like, if I hadn't been, I probably would have got like pretty depressed. So yay. YouTube is great for me in many different ways. Yeah, that's what I got. I have a full day today. I would kind of want to hang out with people, but I don't have time, which sucks. But there you go. So I'm gonna go ahead and start next week's vlog. And I will talk to you guys in the next one. Leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, click the notification bell, all that good stuff. I'm really getting up there in videos, so that's exciting. I'm trying to figure out if I should do something special for my 100th video. We'll see, I guess. But if you guys have any ideas of what I can do for 100th video, I have no ideas, so I'm open to it. So thank you. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Bye.